7 Secrets of Extraordinarily Strong Octogenarians. Did you know that by the age of 80, the average person has lost approximately half the muscle mass they possessed in their youth? This terrible condition, called sarcopenia, affects more than 50 million elderly people globally and is silently robbing millions of them of personal autonomy. Every year, more than 300,000 seniors end up in the hospital due to falls directly caused by muscle weakness. The truly alarming aspect? Studies published in the Journal of Physiology reveal that this dramatic loss of muscle tissue can be completely prevented. But before continuing, please like the video, share it with people who might benefit from it, and let us know in the comments which city you follow our YouTube channel from. While most people in their 70s have difficulty climbing steps or getting up from a chair on their own, there is an exceptional group of older adults who retain the muscle strength, functional ability, and even physical appearance of much younger individuals. These extraordinary elders frequently outperform people half their age in feats of strength, continuing to climb mountains, engage in sports, and lead completely independent lives well into their 90s. What is their mystery? Mayo Clinic researchers have identified specific behaviors that significantly reduce and even reverse age-related muscle loss, behaviors that 93% of older adults are completely unaware of. The most fundamental behavior, one that Harvard Medical School researchers found can regenerate lost muscle even in your 70s and 80s, is something many doctors fail to mention to their older patients. Secret 7. Controlled, beneficial stress. The most surprising behavior of exceptionally strong octogenarians is their habitual exposure to particular types of stress, what scientists call controlled hormetic stress. Hormesis refers to the beneficial effects generated by exposure to small amounts of substances that are harmful in larger doses. Simply put, what doesn't destroy actually strengthens, especially when it comes to muscles. Studies at the Buck Institute for Research on Aging have revealed that limited exposure to specific stressors stimulates cellular defense systems that not only maintain muscle, but can actually enhance its function and development, even in individuals up to age 80. The first beneficial hormetic stress used by the super elderly is thermal alternation. Brief contact with cold, such as ending showers with 30 to 60 seconds of ice water, stimulates brown fat, increases mitochondrial production, and releases adiponectin, which protects muscle tissue from decomposition. Similarly, exposure to heat through saunas or hot baths activates heat shock proteins that repair damaged muscle cells and prevent protein degradation. A Finnish study found that regular sauna use 4 to 7 times a week correlated with 40% less muscle loss over 10 years. The second hormetic stress is intermittent fasting, or time-restricted eating. By squeezing nutrition into 8 to 10-hour windows each day, super seniors trigger autophagy, a cellular cleansing process that eliminates deteriorated components and improves muscle quality. Salk Institute research found that this practice boosts muscle mitochondrial function by up to 10% in 12 weeks, even without weight loss. The third hormetic stress involves short, intense muscle contractions. The super elderly regularly perform what exercise specialists call overcoming isometrics, pushing or pulling fixed objects with maximum effort for 5 to 10 seconds. These brief but powerful contractions send strong signals to muscle cells to maintain size and function without causing excessive wear and tear on the joints. The effectiveness of these stresses comes from their intermittent nature. They must be brief, followed by ample recovery time. Secret number 6. Strategic protein distribution. Many older adults focus on the amount of protein they consume, but research shows that the timing of consumption may be even more important. As we age, our bodies become less able to utilize protein, a phenomenon scientists call anabolic resistance. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults need protein strategically spaced throughout the day, rather than concentrated in a single meal as older adults typically do. Here's the crucial part. Muscles have a window of opportunity for protein synthesis that lasts about 3 to 4 hours after each meal. When you consume all your protein at dinner, like many older adults do, you miss out on muscle-building opportunities throughout the rest of the day. The ideal approach: aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal, spread evenly throughout the day. This means breakfast should include protein sources like eggs, Greek yogurt, or protein shakes, not just toast or cereal. Lunch and dinner should continue this pattern with lean meats, fish, dairy products, or plant-based proteins like beans and lentils for vegetarians. This timing strategy alone can increase muscle protein synthesis by up to 25% compared to consuming the same amount of protein concentrated in fewer meals. Participants in a 12-week study at the University of Texas who followed this approach gained an average of 2.5 pounds of muscle despite making no other lifestyle changes. Remember, it's not just how much protein you eat, but when you eat it, that determines whether your muscles strengthen or continue to deteriorate. Secret number 5. Optimizing vitamin D. Did you know that over 80% of older adults are deficient in what scientists now call the muscle vitamin? Vitamin D deficiency is epidemic among older adults and is secretly sabotaging your strength. Here's why this matters. Vitamin D isn't just for bone health. Harvard researchers have discovered that vitamin D directly activates genes responsible for muscle protein synthesis and growth. Muscle cells possess specific vitamin D receptors that, when activated, trigger pathways that build and maintain muscle tissue. Even more surprising, a groundbreaking study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that older adults with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% greater muscle strength than those with deficiencies. They also had significantly better balance, coordination, and reaction times, all critical factors in preventing falls. Super seniors who maintain youthful strength into their 80s almost universally have optimal vitamin D levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter, while the average senior has levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter, classified as deficient. How can you optimize vitamin D? While sun exposure helps, it becomes less effective as you age because your skin produces 50% less vitamin D from the sun at age 65 than at age 20. Many older adults require supplementation, but the standard recommendation of 600 international units, IU, per day is woefully inadequate. Research suggests that many older adults require 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day to achieve optimal levels, although this should be individualized based on blood tests. Secret number 4. Daily management of inflammation. What do super seniors with exceptional muscle strength have in common? They all have remarkably low levels of inflammation. Scientists now recognize that chronic, low-grade inflammation, often called inflammaging, is a major driver of muscle loss in older adults. This silent inflammatory process activates molecular pathways that break down muscle proteins faster than the body can rebuild them. Even more concerning, inflammation blocks anabolic signals that would normally stimulate muscle growth after exercise or protein consumption. A landmark study from Tufts University found that older adults with the highest inflammatory markers lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with the lowest levels, regardless of exercise or protein intake. Super seniors who maintain youthful strength follow specific anti-inflammatory strategies that many older adults overlook. First, they prioritize quality sleep, getting 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted rest in completely darkened rooms. Sleep deprivation increases inflammatory cytokines by up to 40%, directly accelerating muscle breakdown. Second, they're meticulous about gut health. Recent research from the University of California has found that age-related changes in gut bacteria directly contribute to systemic inflammation. Seniors consume a variety of fiber sources daily, aiming for 30-plus different plants a week, along with fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut containing natural probiotics. Third, they are strategic about exercise intensity. While constant movement is crucial, excessive high-intensity exercise can actually increase inflammation in older adults. Seniors typically exercise at moderate intensity many days, with short bursts of high intensity only once or twice a week. Secret number 3. Take specific vitamins daily. While many nutritional recommendations focus on macronutrients like protein, carbohydrates, and fats, super seniors with exceptional muscle strength pay meticulous attention to specific micronutrients that directly support muscle function and protein synthesis. These critical nutrients act as facilitators that allow the body to fully utilize consumed protein and maximize the benefits of exercise. Without them, you can eat plenty of protein and exercise regularly, but still lose muscle mass. First and foremost is magnesium, what researchers at the University of Vermont call the forgotten electrolyte for muscle health. Over 70% of older adults are deficient in this mineral, which is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions related to muscle function. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with optimal magnesium levels had 30% greater grip strength and significantly better physical performance compared to those with even mild deficiencies. Next up is creatine, and not just for young bodybuilders. Research from McMaster University found that creatine supplementation in older adults increased muscle mass, strength, and cognitive function significantly more than strength training alone. A daily dose of 3 to 5 grams can increase muscle energy production and water content in muscle cells. Third is an often overlooked B vitamin, methylated B12. As we age, our ability to absorb B12 decreases dramatically due to reduced gastric acidity. Even more concerning, common medications like metformin and proton pump inhibitors further deplete this essential vitamin. Secret number 2. Preserve neuromuscular junctions. Here's something fascinating that many older adults never hear. Muscle loss isn't just about the muscle fibers themselves. It's often the connections between nerves and muscles that deteriorate first. These connections, called neuromuscular junctions, are like electrical outlets that power muscles. As they deteriorate, a process that accelerates dramatically after age 60, the brain can no longer communicate effectively with the muscles, regardless of how much protein you eat or how often you exercise. Groundbreaking research from the University of Michigan has found that super seniors with exceptional strength have remarkably well-preserved neuromuscular junctions compared to typical seniors. Even more exciting, scientists have discovered specific practices that can maintain and even restore these critical connections. The first practice involves specific motor patterns that require precision and coordination. Activities like Tai Chi, dance, tennis, or even ping pong have been shown to strengthen neural pathways to muscles in ways that simple walking or traditional strength training cannot. These activities force the nervous system to recruit muscle fibers in precise patterns, strengthening neuromuscular junctions. A 2020 study in the Journal of Physiology found that older adults who engaged in coordination requiring activities twice a week had 31% better preservation of neuromuscular junctions. The second practice involves compounds that specifically support neuromuscular health. Alpha-lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine have been shown to protect nerve-muscle connections from oxidative damage. Even more promising, certain forms of vitamin B1, specifically benfotiamine and huperzine from Chinese moss, can enhance acetylcholine, the main neurotransmitter that activates muscles. Secret number 1. Progressive resistance training. We've arrived at the single most important habit that separates exceptionally strong octogenarians from their peers. The practice that Tufts University researchers have called the most effective anti-aging medicine ever discovered. Progressive resistance training, but not in the way many older adults approach it. Super seniors with strength levels decades younger than their actual age practice resistance training with specific protocols that directly combat biological mechanisms of muscle loss. Here's the fundamental truth that many older adults never learn. Muscles operate on a use it or lose it principle, but with an important caveat. They must be progressively challenged to be preserved. Walking, water aerobics, or using the same light weights week after week simply aren't enough to maintain muscle mass past age 60. What makes the super seniors approach different? First, they focus on intensity rather than duration. Research from McMaster University found that older adults who performed high-intensity resistance training, working close to failure twice a week, gained more muscle than those who did moderate-intensity training 5 times a week. The key is to reach what exercise physiologists call momentary muscular failure, the point where you can't perform another repetition with good form. This sends powerful anabolic signals that activate muscle protein synthesis for up to 72 hours following exercise. Second, older adults prioritize compound movements that engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously. Squats, deadlifts, rows, push-ups, and pull-ups, often modified versions appropriate for their mobility and joint health, trigger a greater hormonal response than isolation exercises like bicep curls or leg extensions. Conclusion: your path to lasting strength. Here are 7 evidence-based secrets explaining how some octogenarians maintain the muscle strength of people decades younger. Start today with whichever secret feels most accessible to you, then gradually incorporate the others. Your future self will thank you for the investment you're making now in your long-term strength and independence. What makes this approach truly remarkable is how effective it is, even for those who start late. A groundbreaking study from the University of Alabama found that subjects in their 70s who began progressive resistance training gained an average of 3 pounds of muscle and increased strength by 35% in just 12 weeks. Equally impressive, these changes were accompanied by improvements in blood glucose control, bone density, and cognitive function. The most common mistake older adults make is believing that resistance training is dangerous or unnecessary at their age. In reality, not doing resistance training is far more dangerous. If you implement just one secret from this entire video, make it progressive resistance training. Start with professional guidance to ensure proper form, begin at an intensity appropriate for your current fitness level, and gradually build from there. Even 2 30-minute sessions a week can dramatically change the trajectory of your aging. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 7 secrets are you already practicing? And which one has surprised you the most? Do you know anyone in their 70s or 80s who has exceptional strength for their age? Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love hearing them. Thanks for watching.